Scarcely a musket shot away from the historic Brandywine battlefield, not far from Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, lies beautiful Longwood Gardens, one of the nation's best-known and loved horticultural showplaces. On the weekend estate of the late Pierre S. DuPont, Longwood Gardens was developed under his direction. Today, thanks to his generosity, nearly 1,000 acres of rolling Pennsylvania countryside are preserved for the public the year round. Thousands of visitors come to see the gardens and conservatories, to stroll amongst the formal elegance of the Italian water garden, or pass a sunlit afternoon amidst the rugged splendor of the rock garden. The Arboretum, founded by the Pierce brothers in 1800, today contains specimen trees and shrubs from all over the world. The Rose Garden, with over 150 different cultivars, is another favorite spot with visitors. A part of Longwood's cultural tradition is the open-air theater. A clipped arborvitae hedge forms the stage wings, and production takes place in a setting unique in the American theater. Throughout the growing year, these outdoor gardens, in their varied settings, create a changing pattern of color that parallels the seasons. A vast indoor conservatory, over 3½ acres under glass, and a series of greenhouses stand proof against the seasons and help create a continuous display throughout the year. Special greenhouses simulate soil and climatic conditions from different parts of the world. In the desert house, exotic plants from many of the world's arid regions are displayed along with better-known species from our own Southwest. At Longwood Gardens, one of the most unique and popular display groups has been the world-famous collection of aquatic plants. Dozens of species and varieties from the rivers and lakes of the world are displayed in a specially constructed system of temperature-controlled pools. Growing conditions, closely paralleling those found in nature, are provided to ensure optimum growth. The culture of aquatic plants is one of the earliest forms of gardening, and its history is as old as recorded time. The white lotus of Egypt has been found pictured on the monuments and tombs of the ancient pharaohs. The sacred Hindu lotus has graced temple pools through the centuries, and Olumbo lutea was known as the water chickapin to the American Indians. Perhaps the most popular of all the aquatics have been the water lilies. Horticulturalists have continually found and sought to develop new varieties. Until today, the gardener may choose from dozens of variations, from tiny pygmy water lilies to the giant Victoria platters. Water lilies come from every part of the world. Nymphea colorata came from Africa. Nymphea gigantea is a giant water lily from Australia. And its variety alba was first collected from a crocodile-infested pool in 1946. Crossbreeding selected species has produced new varieties like Bob Trickett. Some hybrid varieties have already become old favorites, like Mrs. Edwards Whittaker and Director George T. Moore. Many other hybrids have been named for members of the developer's family, like Isabel Pring. Mrs. G.H. Pring, the first good white hybrid, and Aviator Pring, developed from Nymphea bertii, first found in the jungles of Tanganyika. St. Louis Gold is a favorite with home gardeners for its compact size. Evelyn Randick is one of the newer varieties from California. Pink Platter is noted for its large size. And Baghdad for its exotic malted leaves. Water lilies are found principally in the tropical and subtropical regions of the world, and their propagation offers a particular challenge to the horticulturist. They are generally grouped into tropical and hardy varieties, and the tropicals cannot survive the Pennsylvania winter. Each year, as fall approaches, the horticulturist must take steps to ensure a good supply of plants for the coming year. Water lilies are especially grown indoors for this purpose, and amongst their roots are found tubers capable of reproducing their own form. These are removed and overwintered in moist sand. In the spring, the tubers are placed in pots filled with rich loam, covered with a layer of fine sand. and placed under water to sprout. These sprouts can be removed and rooted in larger pots in readiness for the beginning of the outdoor season about June 1st. The hardy water lily varieties are propagated by division at Longwood Gardens, but the home gardener will find that they can winter over successfully in Pennsylvania, reappearing year after year in the spring. Hardy varieties at Longwood include Attraction, the beautiful Pink Sensation, Comanche, and Sunrise. Pygmy water lily varieties have been developed for home pools where space is restricted. Tetragona, with blooms the size of quarters. Its descendants, Helvova, the yellow pygmy, and Joanne Pring, bring grace and beauty to these smaller pools. Other varieties of special interest to the home gardener include the tropicals, H.C. Harstick, and James Gurney, night bloomers whose flowers open only after dark. Longwood Gardens enjoys a growing reputation for horticultural research and development. Carefully selected flowers become the parents of new hybrid varieties. In order to prevent chance pollination, the female parent chosen for the cross has its pollen-producing anthers removed and its flower protected from contamination by insects bearing pollen from other flowers. The anther portions of the stamen from the male parent in the cross are removed and introduced, with their pollen, into the stigma of the prepared female parent. This carefully controlled plant breeding or hybridization is aimed at developing newer and more showy water lily varieties for public display. The outdoor season runs from June through October, and the hybrid seeds must be germinated in the greenhouse weeks before they can be placed in the outdoor pools. When the water in the pools has reached the proper temperature, above 70 degrees, the plants selected for display are removed from the tanks and taken to the pools where they will have sufficient room to reach full size. Water lilies are gross feeders, and the planters on the bottom of the pool must contain as much as 12 bushels of loam and manure for each plant. This sort of painstaking work is only one part of the continuing effort at Longwood to develop and improve varieties like American Beauty, Persian Lilac, St. Louis, the first yellow hybrid, and General Pershing, named for the famed World War I leader. Among the most spectacular of all the display varieties at Longwood Gardens are the giant water platters, Victoria Amazonica and Victoria Cruziana. The huge pads of the Victoria Amazonica are found in the tropical regions of the middle and upper Amazon River, where they may reach a size of as much as 90 inches. The smaller but hardier Victoria Cruziana platters can survive in the cooler waters of Bolivia and Paraguay. One phase of the development program at Longwood attempted to combine the desirable traits of these two varieties into one hybrid platter. The Victorias flower only at night, and the first and second night blooms are dramatically different. The first night, the female part of the flower can receive pollen from other flowers, but not until the second night are the flower's own anthers able to release pollen. Victoria cruziana was chosen as the pistillate, or female parent, and selected flowers were emasculated and covered to prevent random pollination. When the developing flower of Victoria cruziana reached the pollen-receptive first night stage, it was opened, and the pollen from the Victoria amazonica was distributed carefully over the stigma in the bottom of the flower. The flower was then again protected from chance contamination and allowed to sink to the bottom of the pool where the seed pod developed. The horticulturalist hopes, through this sort of specialized work, to obtain progeny that possess the desirable traits of each parent. The seeds from the cross were sown in pots and covered by layers of loam and sand. Once they germinated, they were repotted individually and allowed to grow in indoor tanks. By the time the young planters covered the surface of the indoor tanks, it was apparent that the new variety, Victoria Longwood Hybrid, was all a water gardener might ask for. The planters were robust, possessed a strong network of veins on the underside, and displayed a marked degree of hybrid vigor. The new variety was planted in the outdoor pools during June, and here it quickly outgrew its parents. Gigantic planters, growing as much as 6 inches a day, spread out over the pool, finally reaching a size of over 6 feet in diameter. The hybrids combined for the first time the best characteristics or qualities of both parents, large, showy leaves and beautiful flowers, well suited to growing conditions in the northern states. These giant planters, each capable of supporting up to 150 pounds, have become one more step in a continuing program designed to bring increasingly refined display varieties to the public and make Longwood Gardens truly a horticultural showplace and an American pleasure garden.